All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 36, noes 36. Measure fails. Mr. Cedillo notices reconsideration. Okay, we're going to lift the call on file item 112, SB 152. Clerk will post. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 41, noes 21. Measure passes. Okay, we're going to go back to adjourn in memories. Mr. Gordon.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to adjourn in memory of Ben Parks. In our community, he was affectionately known as Coach Parks. He was the longtime football coach at Menlo Atherton High School. He died last Friday at the age of 77. Coach Parks was born in Statesville, North Carolina. At the age of 7, he was abandoned by his mother. His grandmother brought him to California, to Hollister. Because of family difficulties, eventually, he was taken in by migrant workers who raised him and helped him get through school. He graduated from Hollister High School, attended the University of the Pacific, and started his teaching career in Stockton. He came to Menlo Atherton High School in 1968, where he taught for 31 years. He was the first African-American head football coach in the Bay Area. He came to the school at a time of racial tension, when busing was going on. He built bridges of compassion and understanding. He always put kids first, and nothing was ever second. Coach Parks was also active in many charity events, including the local Boys and Girls Club. At the age of 40, he began a birthday tradition of running a mile for each year of his age in order to raise money for the charities. Chief among those was his annual return trip to Hollister every Thanksgiving and Christmas to go to the migrant farm worker camps to bring food and clothing, to pay back what had been given to him as a child. He also served as a personal trainer to Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, and many other professional football players. And when Ronnie Lott was inducted into the Hall of Fame, he called out and thanked Coach Parks. His wife Geraldine died last year. He is survived by 5 children and 2 grandchildren. He was an incredible, compassionate leader in our community. And one of his students said, he showed his students that anything was possible if we believed in ourselves and accepted the support of friends and family. He showed by the way he lived his own life that integrity and character mattered and that shortcuts only lead to dead ends. Please join me in a journey in memory of Coach Ben Parks.
Mr. Monning.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I ask that we adjourn today in memory of and in honor of U.S. Navy Captain Gordon Ross Nakagawa, who passed away peacefully yesterday morning after a courageous battle with cancer. Captain Nakagawa was a career naval officer and a longtime resident of Marina, California. His distinguished service to our country included flying 185 missions during 4 deployments in Vietnam, where in December of 1972 he was imprisoned as a POW in Hanoi when his aircraft was downed by enemy fire. His service in our nation's military earned him numerous accolades, including 2 Legion of Merit Awards, 2 Bronze Stars, 2 Purple Hearts, 2 Meritorious Service Medals, and various other commendations. Captain Nakagawa was also an active leader in Monterey County, where he served for 8.5 years as a member of the Monterey Peninsula Unified School District, also while devoting numerous hours of support and leadership to the development of the Central Coast Veterans Cemetery. He's survived by his wife Jean, children Kathleen, Gregory, and Stephen, and 3 grandchildren. Thank you.
Ms. Torres.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to adjourn in memory of Gilbert Magoo Lujan. Gilbert Magoo Lujan passed away in July after battling cancer for several years. A pioneer of the Chicano art movement that took root in the social and cultural upheavals of the 1960s and 70s, Magoo, as he was universally known, was among the first U.S. artists of Mexican descent to establish an international career. Born in October 16th of 1940 in French Camp, California, near Stockton, Magoo moved as a child with his family to East Los Angeles. After serving in the U.S. military, he attended Cal State Long Beach and earned a degree in ceramic sculpture in 1969. Between 1976 and 1980, Magoo taught at the La Raza Studies Department at Fresno City College, where he also served as department chairman. Later, he taught art at Cal Poly Pomona while maintaining his personal studio, Magoolandia, in downtown Pomona. Magoo was a founding member of Los Four, a Chicano artist collective during the 1970s and early 1980s in Los Angeles. Los Four were instrumental in bringing Chicano art to the attending of the mainstream art world. Gilbert Magoo Lujan, a painter, muralist, and sculptor, will be missed but not forgotten. We extend our sympathy and prayers to his family. I have another one. I would like to also adjourn in memory of Melba Robinson of Pomona, California. On July 24th, 2011, we lost one of Pomona's finest, most committed, caring, and beloved citizen. When it came to our community, Melba's philosophy was based on a simple notion: if you want change, you have to get involved. For more than 40 years, Melba worked day in and day out to make positive changes in Pomona, to make Pomona a better and safer place for everyone to live, work, and play, particularly for our youth. Her unwavering commitment led her to volunteer on numerous organizations and create a few of her own. Members, there is not enough time to share with you all of the great things Melba did for the people of Pomona. In her last action, Melba donated her body to the Western University of Health Science. We will dearly miss her, and we extend sympathy to her family.
Mr. Valadeo. Mr. Valadeo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I rise to adjourn in memory of Don Giacomazzi. Don was a good friend who inspired many people in Hanford and throughout the San Joaquin Valley. Don's experiences and commitments to his community really impacted me and many others who spent time with him. He was the owner of Giacomazzi Dairy, which is now in its fourth generation of Don's family. The dairy has been operating since 1893, making it one of the oldest family-owned dairies in the state. He also gave a lot of his time and well-being to his community by giving 55 years of service to the Sons of Italy, 22 years to the Dairy Herd Improvement Association, 12 years to the California Milk Advisory Board. He was also involved in helping local schools by serving on the local school board for more than 30 years and as a 4-H club leader. Don loved watching his grandchildren grow up, and he'll be greatly missed by many family members, including his wife of 48 years, Jackie, his mother, sister, and 4 children and 5 grandchildren. Thank you.
Ms. Skinner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I rise to adjourn in memory of Margaret Harvey, who died last week in her home in Berkeley. Margaret, a noted watercolor painter with a feisty sense of independence, was also the mother of Allison Harvey, one of our legislative staff, who's been a legislative staff for the past 24 years. Margaret is survived by her husband, Bernard, who is retired from Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, and she is also survived by 5 children and many other family members. She will be sorely missed by all of those she left behind.
Okay, members, please bring the names to the desk to be printed in the journal. The session schedule is as follows: Friday, August 26th, no floor session, no check-in session. Monday, August 29th, floor session at 12 noon. All other items remaining will be passed and retained. All motions shall be continued. Okay, before we go to condition of the file. We need a motion to adjourn. With a second, Mr. Calderon moves and Mr. Jones seconds that this House stands adjourned until Monday, August 29th at 12 noon. Mr. Portantino. 2 minutes on condition of the file.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members, for the opportunity to speak on condition of the file. I'd like to read from the Standing Rules of the Assembly under Performance Audit, Section 15.7. In addition to the annual financial audit required by the Rules Committee, or the Committee on Rules, shall contract for an audit of the administrative operations of the Assembly each session. So we are required under the Standing Rules to perform a performance audit. And in a letter dated July 28th, I was informed that the Assembly does not have any records responsive to my request described in my letter under disclosure as a performance audit under Standing Rule 15.7. So I would like to know when we intend to comply with Rule 15.7 and conduct the performance audit. Given the desperate need for transparency in this House, I think it is way past time and under our rules to conduct this performance audit, and I would hope that we would move on it with great haste.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, quorum calls lifted. Okay, members wishing to add, change votes, please come up.
Cook, vote change, file number 95, bill number SB 585, from aye to not voting.
Cook, Senate Bill 585, aye to not voting.
Galgiani, file item number 61, ACR 72, aye to not voting.
Galgiani, Assembly Concurrent Resolution 72, aye to not voting.
Galgiani, file item 112, SB 152, aye to not voting.
Galgiani, Senate Bill 152, aye to not voting.
Knight, file 137, SB 646, from an aye to a no.
Knight, Senate Bill 646, aye to no.
Valadeo, SB 773, from a no to an aye.
Valadeo, Senate Bill 773, no to aye.
Norby, SB 495, no to yes.
Norby, Senate Bill 495, no to aye.
Okay, let's finish up the consent calendar.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 78.
Ayes 74, no 0.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 79.
Ayes 74, no 0.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 80.
Ayes 74, no 0.
Senate Bill 6.
Ayes 74, no 0.
Senate Bill 32 with urge.
Ayes 74, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 74, no 0 on the measure.
Senate Bill 100.
Ayes 74, no 0.
Senate Bill 131.
Ayes 74, no 0.
Senate Bill 194.
Ayes 74, no 0.
Senate Bill 368.
Ayes 74, no 0.
Senate Bill 398 with urgency.
Ayes 74, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 74 on the measure.
Senate Bill 541 with urgency.
Ayes 74, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 74, no 0 on the measure.
Senate Bill 578.
Ayes 74, no 0.
Senate Bill 619 with urgency.
Ayes 74, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 74, no 0